Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode on this channel. And today we will be talking about Wuthering Heights. So let's get started. The most basic thing that you should know before you read this is that the one I'm using right now is Volume 2, and I'm going to be talking about Volume 2 of Wuthering Heights. So let's get that started. So I'll split this video in 3 parts. The first part, I'll be talking about the whole quick summary. And then I'm going to be talking about a little analysis that I've made myself and read a bit of Spark Notes too. So yeah, you probably should read the Wuthering Heights Spark Notes too. And then I'll give you my opinion of the whole book itself. So let's get started. So one day on a cold wintry day, like the one right now I'm experiencing, that was how the whole story started. But then in Volume 2, it restarts from Chapter 1, and there is a lot of things that already happened. Previously Mr. Lockwood was here, and then he heard the story of the account, and now he's writing more in his diary journal entry. After that, there are more things there. After another week is over, that's when it starts with Volume 2, Chapter 1. And I'm so many days near health and spring. I have now heard all of my neighbors' history at different settings as the housekeeper could spare time from more important occupations. I'll continue it in her own words. And then we continue to learn more about Heathcliff's history. The guy who is the owner of the tenants for Thrushcross Grange and his place and current home, Wuthering Heights. So as we discussed in the previous episode, I already told you that Wuthering Heights is a place that Heathcliff owns. What I probably didn't tell you was that Thrushcross Grange was also a place that Heathcliff owned. And that is all the things that I think you should know for now. He talks more about the history of Heathcliff and his cruel treatment of him, and there are more things to be talked about. Anything else I could tell you about is all written in the book, and this is not a summary video, so I'm for people who don't want to read the book. So I just want to say that there is a lot of things that should be mentioned before you go read the book. One, you should read some other people's versions of it, and if you want a quick summary before you read the actual thing, I highly recommend the Usborne version of it. One last thing before I go into the analysis is that Wuthering Heights is a creepy place. Volume 2 is just creepier than usual, I should say. We've already found out a lot of mysteries. However, this one seems to celebrate rebirth and other things too. Renewal, rebirth of the whole family, and moreover, more things to really talk about. There has been a change in Wuthering Heights and Thrushcross Grange, and I intend to find out about it. You still here? Get out! Sorry about my grumpy nature. Anyway, let's get on with it. Analysis. In the analysis, there has been a lot of things that we could more talk about, but I'll just select a few of them for you. Here, there has been a lot of things that seem to go on for this. I now realize that this is a journal entry by Lockwood himself, the new tenant for Thrushcross Grange. Another thing that I should mention is that this is more of an metaphor. If you ever heard of the upper class treats the lower class like poor dogs, like, yeah, smack, 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 smack. Well, that was true back then. And then the poor and the upper and middle class was, well, very, very, very scared that the lower class will revolt against their tyrannical rule. And so this is what they did to do. They just decided that this would be a little metaphor. And Emily Bronte did a good job at making the metaphor, by the way. I'm just saying. So all there is to say is that there's not much to say. I just think that there has been a lot of things in Wuthering Heights that has made the whole book a bit of a loony tale. And Wuthering Heights is a good representation of that. Volume 2 is just the part when the poor turn to upper class and the new poor start revolting again and again. And finally, the end is just the peace that is still not here yet. I mean, look at our world right now. Is there peace between the upper and lower class? Yes, but is there peace between the upper and upper classes? No? Yeah, yes. Upper and lower classes are still in struggle with each other. But what do you mean by lower class nowadays? People who are working for pay. I mean, not a lot of people, at least if I look at the streets, not a lot of people are doing it. But if I look on the news, there are protests of lower class people or middle class people rising up onto the upper class and trying to reform change. Protest, protest. So Wuthering Heights is a good representation of what the world is like. And as Charlotte Brontë said herself, Wuthering Heights might not just be talking about women, but also humans in general. Charlotte Brontë said that in a preface for another edition of Wuthering Heights. And that is all I can tell you guys. So, stay tuned for the whole book series, for the whole book episode. And in my humble opinion, this is a good book to read. See you guys soon.